George Yeo on Bonsai, Banyan, and the Tao. Edited by Asad-Ul Iqbal Latif and Huay Leng. Introduction. This book is a collection of my past speeches and writings. They are jointly selected by Asad Latif and Huay Leng for the English and Chinese versions of the book, in consultation with me. Dr. Phua Kok Koo, founder and chairman of World Scientific, had repeatedly persuaded me to write a book about my views on politics and culture since my time in the Foreign Ministry. I replied repeatedly that I was not in a frame of mind to do so. While in government, there were too many issues to grapple with. After I left government in 2011, my life entered a new phase, and there were too many new challenges to face. I am not an academic and feel no inclination to discourse on society and government in an abstract way. As for writing the memoirs of my years in government, that would involve combing through records in various ministries, the PAP, Parliament, and the constituency I served over 23 years. Much material would still be classified. It's also easy for my recounting to be misunderstood as self-serving. In all the roles I played, I worked as a member of a team, and claiming specific responsibility for particular acts of commission or omission could be invidious. Hence, when Dr. Phua suggested that my speeches be compiled instead, I thought it was a good idea. They're all already in the public domain. When I left the Ministry of Trade and Industry, MTI, in 2004, my colleagues took the trouble of compiling the key speeches I made into a souvenir book with the somewhat flattering title, George Yeo, A Curious and Lively Mind. Only a few dozen copies were published, beautifully bound Chinese style, paid for by the chairman of MTI statutory boards and senior staff. In fact, the collection of speeches in that book covered quite well the key events and decisions during my 7 years in the ministry. I passed that book to Dr. Phua, who thought that it could be a model for this book. Just before campaigning began for the May 2011 general election, a friend of mine, who is a professional pollster, told me confidentially that his analysis of the trends indicated that my team would garner 43 to 47% of the votes. I kept this piece of information to myself, not wanting to demoralize my teammates. As it turned out, his forecast range precisely bracketed the 45% we received. Despite being mentally prepared for a loss, the loss when it came was painful. The Workers' Party had fielded its first team against my colleagues and me in Aljunied GRC, Group Representation Constituency, in a high-stakes bid to break the PAP's dominance of the Singapore Parliament. Over 3 electoral terms, the boundaries of Aljunied GRC had shifted to envelope the sole opposition constituency in Singapore at Hougang. It was not surprising that the Workers' Party should attempt the breakout through Aljunied GRC, although this could not have been the only reason. In my speech congratulating the Workers' Party candidates, I expressed the hope that they would look after the constituents whom I had the privilege of serving over 2 decades. A day or two later, Workers' Party leader Lau Tia Kiang remarked that the PAP team lost not because it had performed badly, but because the people wanted more opposition members in Parliament. At a media conference the following week, I announced my retirement from parliamentary politics. In the subsequent weeks, pressure built up within and outside the PAP for me to run for the elected presidency in August. This was despite my having indicated earlier that I thought myself temperamentally unsuited.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?